Hey YouTube, welcome to another video. Today I'm going to be dyeing my hair yet again. I'm starting out by brushing it out. As you can see, it is quite dull and my roots have grown out a lot, so right now I need to play catch up. I'm starting out with some protectant. I'm applying it to the roots mainly because that is the area that I'm going to be dyeing first. Feels like a massage. You need to brush this stuff out because it is quite sticky. Some things I'm going to be using include some hair ties. I'm going to be using a couple of bobby pins to hold my bangs back. My hair dye, of course, with a brush and a bowl. I'm using a hair cap to retain the heat and to process faster. A pair of gloves. A shirt I don't care too much about. And I'm sitting on a towel because I don't want to stain my sheets. A mirror, of course. So I'm starting out by parting my hair in half. Wherever you part your hair, that's where you want to start because you want it to look the best out of every other section of your hair. So here what I do is I'm applying it to the roots, mainly just the area that I see that is black. The areas that are a little lighter brown, I'm going to be hitting later. After I hit the black areas of the roots, I'm going to go into the area that surrounds the face. For example, here I'm going through all my little baby hair and going around the ear to the sideburns and making sure those are accounted for. Afterwards, I just keep going. I'm not going to show too much of this because I basically do the same thing per section of the hair. So I'm just going to fast forward into what the end result looks like after I've hit the entirety of the roots. And then after this, I'm going to put my hair up in a ponytail. And I'm going to cut a hole on the cap because I want my ends to be outside of the heat that's being generated by the hair dye. And I'm going to squeeze out the air and tighten the ends so that no air is coming out, and I want to isolate the roots as much as possible. So I'm going to be leaving this on for about 10, 20, 30 minutes exactly, and this is what it looks like the day after. As you can see, the roots are pretty orange. The ends are a lot more darker brown than the roots, so I have to fix this. But at this point it was super late in the night, so I'm going to continue it tomorrow. So yesterday I used about half of this pre-color treatment, so today I'm going to use the other half on the ends, so this much. I'm going to be adding the protector to the ends this time, but focusing mostly on the surrounding areas to the face. Alright, so I have just about enough 20 volume developer to use 20 volume, but I think that because this is so orange and this is so brown that since I need to lift so much, I'm just going to go for the 30 volume. I'm going to check to see if after 10 minutes it's done, but if it's not, I'll go in and leave it for an additional 5, and I'll check every 5 minutes after the 10 minutes and so on and so forth. I usually play it safe with 20 volume, but I don't want to have to dye it again if it doesn't work out. So I'm just going to go straight to the 30. So something I wanted to mention, for example, this tube uses 2.4 ounces of developer, so it really helps if you were to get a bowl that has the ounces listed on the side. Well, you can't see mine, but it says 2 ounces, 4 ounces, and 6 ounces. Right between those, it's the 2.5 and 4.5. So you can look at the 2.5 line and then just put right underneath it for the 2.4 ounces. I find that to be really helpful because I don't have a scale to measure that. So I could eyeball it, but with 30 volume developer, it's not something you want to eyeball, so just keep a watch for that. Here, this clip is showing the hair dye before I mix it. So the orange hair dye is 1.2 ounces and the developer is 2.4 ounces. So here I'm parting my hair into thirds. You can see in the back I have the lower third parted. Here I'm parting the middle third. And then the top third, I'm separating the bangs because that was dyed with the roots. So here you can see that there's a certain section of the hair that's closer to the roots that looks lighter than the lower portion of it. To prevent further damage to my hair, I'm starting from the bottom up. And I'm only getting the darker brown parts that need more attention, because this is the method that I'm using to prevent unnecessary damage or any harm to my hair that I really shouldn't apply. Focusing now on the mid-third of the hair. I'm starting in the back because that is the most difficult part. I'm taking half of that, and it's very, very important to brush your hair, because the better you brush it, the better coverage you're gonna have. My lower third of my hair is quite healthy. It's actually the healthiest part of my head, so it can handle the hair dye. So I'm applying it to the entirety of the hair. So once I've finished my eyebrows, I'm going to go back and saturate any areas which I have protected previously, brushing it out again. I can't stress how important this step is, and making sure that I blend the already dyed parts to the recently dyed parts. And here what I do is actually go through the darker portions and kind of do a quality control check. So here, this clip, I'm blind as heck, so here I'm realizing I think it's a little blurry, but my eyesight is so bad that I'm like, maybe it's fine. So I apologize for the following clip. This hair color specifically says for dark hair only. The instructions say you should use 30 or 40 volume developer, and that's because the paint itself, the dye itself, is not going to do all the job. You need to have a strong developer that will lift the color off your hair. So 20 volume will only work if you need 20 volume. Like if your hair is damaged to the point where you can't afford to do anything beyond 20 volume. So I wanted to use 20 volume, but I would suggest only using 20 volume when you have either relaxed hair, very dry brittle hair, or you're like permed, or just like a root touch up of like an inch or 2 inches. Anything beyond that, you should use at least a 30 volume. If your hair is super, super dark, thick, and healthy, go 40 volume. And if your hair is like mine, where texture is very important, I need to maintain my curls, I'm going to use a 30 volume and do 30 minutes maximum. You can push your boundaries a little bit depending on the condition of your hair and the expectations that you have. You need to know that the longer you leave it, the more damage you're going to have. The higher developer you go, the higher damage you're going to have. So it all depends on you. For me, this round, I have my curls to think about. I had the previous color on here that was lighter as compared to black hair. So 30 volume was really perfect for me, and 30 minutes was optimal. So this is what my hair looks like now dry. You will see that the roots now look a lot closer to the rest of the hair. I love it a lot. It's just the right amount of orange, I think. The downside of this hair dye is that the orange tone kind of fades out after a couple of washes. Overall, I think this hair dye is amazing. I think it's great. They have a wide variety of colors. They have blondes, they have light browns, they have reds, and this entire line is specifically for dark hair color. So I definitely think you guys should try it out. Look at the colors that they have on display at Sally's and you will find a very good demonstration of what your hair will look like. If you were to go to Sally's and look for the copper color that I just used, you would find that the display looks just like my hair color. It's orange and it's light. So I find the displays to be very true to their color. That way it'd be easier for you to see which color you'd like the most on you. Okay, so thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. Okay, now I'm gonna go get ready for my job interview.